Hello everybody, it's Gary Stuckey with Steve Perry News. You know, recently we found out about the passing of an awesome drummer, Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters. All of his fans and his friends and fellow musicians, they've bragged on him and talking about his smile and his charm, you know, his talent, playing those drums so well. Anybody that knows the band, of course, knows that he was an awesome talent. And even though, you know, you may not follow the band very much, I'm sure you've heard about him in some form. And if you're a Steve Perry fan, you probably know that way back in the day, during the For the Love of Strange Medicine days, Taylor was playing drums for a lady named Sass Jordan, and they used to open up for Steve. So it just so happens that Steve and his manager, Scott Welch, they were checking out the band, Sass Jordan's band, and watching the drummer, young Taylor Hawkins, playing those drums. Steve found him very interesting. You know, Steve is a drummer. So don't you know that Steve is always paying attention to those drums? And at this concert, he's watching Sass and the band and Taylor play away, and he's soaking it all in. You know, and I know that Taylor Hawkins wrote about it. It's such a big deal when the legendary Steve Perry is watching you and bragging on you. So Steve and the manager, there's his manager, Scott Welch, were checking out Taylor. You know, they had a good idea. And Steve was talking to Scott, and they agreed that, you know, there's this lady named Alanis Morissette. Maybe he needs to play with her. So Scott talked to Alanis, and the time went by, and Taylor didn't hear anything. But then one day, he got a phone call from Scott, and it was decided that he would need to try out for the drums for Alanis Morissette. So he did, and he beat a bunch of others, you know, hundreds, I believe. And he won the gig. And so he got the gig with Alanis Morissette. You know, he's on her hits that she, you know, came out with in the video for You Ought to Know and things like that. Go check that out. But what a talented guy. You know, he eventually would land the gig with the Foo Fighters. He met Dave Grohl backstage. You know, Dave from Nirvana playing the drums. And there's another drummer, Dave Grohl. So you know that he saw the same thing that Steve saw. When you have talented musicians that play drums, and they sit back and appreciate other musicians and love the style, and what a style that Taylor had. You know, so tragic that he passed away at such a young age. You know, regardless of what it was, you know, people speculate and they talk about all the negative stuff. But I say we lost a very talented musician, and the world is going to miss him. And I know Steve, he hasn't posted anything about it, but I'm sure Steve is thinking about him and took it pretty hard, because, you know, Steve is such a big help to musicians, and they appreciate him so much, and I know he appreciates them. And when he can lend a hand and give his, you know, encouragement to all those musicians and kind of help them out a little bit, you know, and in Taylor's case, you know, the legendary Steve Perry was there helping him and getting them gigs with Alanis Morissette, and the rest is history. But rest in peace to Taylor Hawkins. And as far as Steve Perry, we're hoping to hear something from Steve very soon. And, you know, life is short. Time is short. This makes me think about that once again. And whatever, you know, we hear from Steve, whatever we get from Steve, we can appreciate that. Just thankful that he's still around and looking forward to the future. Hey, until next time, everybody, this is Gary Stuckey saying, whatever you do, don't stop believing. God bless you.